What's
Well,
the
I have
public
to say,
sentiment right now?
everything is very quiet
Okay.
for the moment we are experiencing, and the good thing, people is taking this very serious. Everybody is safe at home, and everybody is like following the instructions given by nature. You know, when in situations like this, people tend to go and see outside what is going on, but on this particular case, people is preserving their integrity at their homes and waiting to see what is coming. We are hearing everything about this thanks to social media, because I have to say there is no local media reporting about this, and all the media controlled by Maduro's regime is playing propaganda and cartoons. This is what's happening right now in Venezuela.
Hmm. All right. There are also some people who are saying that he would be fleeing the nation. Do you see that happening at all?
Not at all.
Okay. So he is well in his place and safe.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, then Jennifer, for speaking to me here. All right. I'm also now joined in by Sudhakar ji in this discussion. Sudhakar ji, is Sudhakar ji with us in the discussion as of now? Okay. Sudhakar ji, thank you very much for joining. What's your assessment of the current situation?
Assessment of the current situation, it was long awaited to happen. It has happened. And Monroe Doctrine or no doctrine, this is a, I would say, afterthought after having assumed the presidency 2.0. And 21st century, if we do not object to such kind of territorial integrity being invaded by a superpower, then why should anyone object to what Putin has done to Ukraine? So, does Putin's action justify Donald Trump's action, or Donald Trump's action is justifying Putin's action? So, this is a moot question which everyone should ask in the world. But overall assessment is that the CIA modules are operating in Caracas. They are all out to make sure that Maduro, notwithstanding what the previous distinguished speaker assured that he is not going to flee, they will make all out effort to make sure that Maduro flees the country and there is a regime change. Whether Donald Trump says this or not, although Tulsi Gabbard a couple of days back had said that USA has changed its option of regime change and withdrawing all its approach and commitment and resources from doing so. But my feeling, my gut feeling is that he is hell bent upon changing the regime, and whoever it may be, whoever they have in the mind is going to come back to power, because it is straight in the backyard, and whatever happens in Venezuela has got a direct and indirect bearing. This once upon a time used to be in the lap under the sphere of influence of Monroe Doctrine. Monroe Doctrine was institutionalized, as you know, in 1823 by James Monroe. He was the president of USA. I don't have to give the historical perspective and the meaning and implication, but he's basically trying to indulge in strategic rivalry, push back Chinese penetration into Latin America and its dominance, as also the growing footprint of Russia. Today we have oceanic missiles deployed in Venezuela. Oceanic missile is of Russia, which moves at a speed of 10 to 12 Mach. It's a hypersonic missile, got ballistic platforms, and there is no radar system which can detect the flight path or detect the projectile. Then I am also given to understand from the open sources that there are naval vessels, Russian naval vessels, which are already in Caribbean with zircon missiles, and zircon missiles with 3,500 to 4,000 kilometers approximately. Their basic aim is to counter the naval air defense system of US Navy in an effective manner. So if these are the kinds of things happening, then perhaps there is a greater coalition which is not visible to the naked eye. I feel that China's dominance is already there in Venezuela. Russia's presence has been increased. As far as the immediate security of Maduro is concerned, I am given to understand by very reliable sources there are Wagner groups who had been flown in a classified path and route of air flight about a month and a half or 2 months back to Caracas, and they have landed. They are providing the internal security of Maduro, and these bombardments which are taking place, explosions are by standoff means. There are no boots on grounds. They are by the standoff kinetic attacks which are taking place. But before the kinetic attack, there is a hybrid warfare which has been launched by means of cyber and electromagnetic. So next, I would see that the situation in Venezuela would gradually grow towards developing a kind of a civilian unrest against the ruling dispensation and civilian, like the way it is being built up in Iran. Similar kind of thing is likely to take place in Venezuela, and I visualize that Maduro will be pushed to a corner and made sure that he surrenders before the U.S. forces, and U.S. would like to, go back to its status quo ante as far as the oil fields are concerned, as far as its dominance in the Venezuela as a country is concerned. Towards that end, the military establishment, I am given to understand, they have been hit by kinetic, by missiles, as also drones, and by attack hepters. And also, one of the major ports have been hit. It has got multiple terminals. One terminal is gone. So it is one of the major. What is Karachi to Pakistan is something like this port is to Venezuela. So this is going to cause extensive damage and going to put Venezuela in a back foot as far as the major commercial activities are concerned, be it export or import. Back to you, Kriti.
All right. So, Dhakarji, why do you think the strikes have happened right now today? Why not in all this time? Why, after Maduro has come out and said that he is open for a dialogue, the strikes have occurred?
Take your mind back to Iraq. What happened in Iraq? So anyway, because everything is time bound, so let me respond to this. It is simply, as per my analysis, I feel as a student of geopolitics, this is all rhetoric. This is drama going on as far as Donald Trump is concerned. He's he's already in a corner, tight corner as far as the homeland security is concerned. The things in the US itself is very, very tight and difficult. He wants to assert himself and show to his domestic constituency that he is powerful and he is able to, if he's been claiming that he has won so many wars, he has brought ceasefire and peace talks. You count anything, including Thailand and Cambodia. Is there any kind of ceasefire or peace? Is there any ceasefire or peace in Israel or Ukraine? So here is something which he is trying to say, that here is a conflict which has broken out, and because of its strength and the formidable power of the US armed forces, he has been able to defeat Maduro's design of battle and push down his...
been supporting him, keeping in power, and getting rid of him and bringing in a government that's more amenable to the US. And consequently, they've hit some military targets, but the civilian casualties, I think they'll be careful to keep them low and not hit civilian targets. And at the same time, they're going to hurt the economy, which is already reeling from the sanctions, and increase the pressure on the government that way by people being unhappy with the falling quality of life. So if we're lucky, this will be a limited strike. There may be follow-up strikes, but again, on a surgical nature. As I say, the chances of the US committing major invasion, I think, are extremely low. They'll just keep, taking pot shots at the economy, taking out oil refineries, taking out infrastructure, taking out ports in order to increase the pressure on the economy until the dissatisfaction of the population rises to the point where they're going to revolt or call for new elections or simply oust Maduro. Or there could also be a palace coup. Often that happens in these situations where the elites around Maduro say it's not worth backing him. He's not got the international support. And so we'll just get rid of him and put in a new president who can actually negotiate a peace and do some sort of compromise with the Trump administration.
All right. I'm also now joined in by Ambassador R. Vishwanathan, who is the former ambassador to Venezuela, and he joins us from Kochi. I believe the ambassador has joined us, right? Yeah, okay. We are joined by Ambassador Vishwanathan. Thank you very much, sir, for joining me. The situation, of course, now escalating from strikes on ships to strikes on military bases in Venezuela. I'm sure you've been watching all the developments. We have been reporting for about 2 hours, 3 hours now. What is your, how do you look at this situation?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. Well, it didn't come as a surprise. It was expected. It was expected because Trump had been threatening, intimidating, bullying. It's been going on for a while. He sent the warships. He has authorized the CIA. It was expected. It was only a matter of time. And this is not the first time Trump has done it. During his first term also, he tried to overthrow Maduro. He did a big campaign. He sent mercenaries to overthrow Maduro, but it failed. But this time now he has scaled it up and he is doing it. And Venezuela is not in a position to defend itself. They don't have the weapons, they don't have the bomb. And China or Russia are not going to come to the rescue of Venezuela and confront the United States. Even the neighbors who are border with Venezuela, like Brazil and Lula and Gustavo Petro of Colombia, they will not go out of their way to confront Trump to save Venezuela. Although Lula had saved Chavez last time in 2002 when there was a coup. This time they won't do it because Maduro has foolishly alienated Lula when Lula questioned the legitimacy of the elections. There's neither the Venezuelans nor anyone else can do anything about what Trump is doing, and we can do more. He has done. Americans have done it in Vietnam. They had destroyed Iraq. They had destroyed Syria. They had destroyed Afghanistan. It's one more thing.
What do you think about Maduro's position as of now there in Venezuela? Will he be retaliating? Will he be going out to seek more assistance, probably China or Russia? Or will he be fleeing, as some are also saying? What's going to happen?
He is not going to flee anywhere. It is not a one-man dictatorship.
Yeah.
It's not like Noriega in Panama, who was picked up and taken to the United States. And that's not possible in Venezuela because it's a collective dictatorship, or thousands of generals, colonels, politicians, the chiefs of the intelligence services, judiciary, and the oil company. They know that if any pro-American leader or government comes to power in Caracas, they are going to hand over all these people to America to rot in the jail for life. So Americans cannot replace Maduro with Machado. The Americans have to kill thousands of Chavistas, thousands of top Venezuelan leadership in order to put Machado into power. So these top Venezuelan leadership of over 1,000 people, they would rather fight and die. The Americans can attack with cruise missiles or they can bomb the places. But if Machado goes to Venezuela next day, she will be killed by the Chavistas. She cannot go. So the only way is to kill thousands of people and finish off the governors and the mayors and all the top political leadership of Venezuela. Only that way it can be done. And it is not possible. And then Americans don't want to risk land invasion because there will be casualties.
So are you saying it's going to stop at this, Ambassador?
Pardon me?
Are you going to say that these strikes are going to stop now? It's going to stop at this?
No. You see, the Americans have strangulated Venezuela. They have blockaded their ports. They don't allow oil shipments, which is the mainstay of the Venezuelan economy. They have closed their airspace. They don't allow planes. So they are strangulating them. And Venezuela is not in a position to get out of this strangulation. So Trump can do it slowly over a week or month or months together, or he can do it sharply and quickly. I mean, it is his will and pleasure, and the pleasure of Rubio, who is the principal architect against these leftist regimes in Latin America.
All right. Thanks very much then, Ambassador Vishwanathan, for joining me in this discussion and giving your assessment. And with that, viewers, we're going to slip into a very short break, but stay tuned to